Good evening.
Hello.
Hope you're well. Hello. All right. Well, there's two people in at the minute to three people in. So a few people might sneak over from Chris's watching the football, but um, so we've got Sophie tonight. We'll wait for a few more to come in. So we've got my daughter Jade's in.
Hello, Jade.
There you go, Jade and Cass. I haven't seen you for a while, Cass. I hope you're well. It's saying it's just dropped down to one person in, but I can't see that. So we've got a couple of people in. Let's wait for a couple more. And how's things anyway? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. What about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Okay. Few little sales and bits and pieces going, but oh, Jade's saying hello, Sophie. There you go. Yeah, a few little bits and pieces going, but it's just I don't know. I think I've been speaking to James, and even James has been saying his has dropped off a little bit, but like he hasn't been listing as hard as well. But I just think eBay's a bit of a funny thing at the minute.
Yeah, I have to admit, like last week, I'd had virtually nothing. Then all of a sudden on the Sunday, I literally had like 4 sales in an hour, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What the hell has gone on here?"
Mm.
and
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
yeah, and I've had one sale today, just a Hollister jumper. Yeah, I'll probably
Mm.
move about 50 quid's worth of stuff on the Sunday, and then
That's all right.
just the one sale today. So yeah, but I
Yeah.
then woke up this morning and I had 6 offers send out, and I don't think I've ever had so many
Oh, nice.
send out, in one go. So that was quite good.
Yeah, nice.
Um, so yeah, and I haven't listed today actually.
No, no. Do you know what? I spent my wife. She worked yesterday, and then she went back to work last night because someone didn't turn up. So she done the day. Then she had to go back at night,
Oh God.
and she's a manager of a care home. So she's worked the night, and then she's come home, had a few hours sleep and that, and then she's gone in at 12. And from the time she went in at 12 to about 5 o'clock when I started like looking at tidying the house and like tidying up my mess from the day, although I didn't get a lot done. Basically moving stuff into the living room to sort out, and then because I spent most of the day pulling the shed out looking for a damn t-shirt, I got nothing done. Like my parcels didn't get done, and I didn't really get any listings done, so that was a bit of a pain. But Cassie's we got Leanne in. Evening, Leanne.
Hello, Leah.
And Cassie saying I only came because I heard it was free mince pies and wine in here tonight. Yeah, maybe over the Christmas. My mum's in. Evening, mum. Yeah, so I say we've got 8 people in now, which is good. So there's a few more coming in. It's really unusual that I'd even do one like in the week. It's I like to do the odd ones, and I sort of I don't know. I just do on the spur of the moment ones, and like if I'm out walking about or somewhere interesting, I'll do
Yeah.
one. But yeah. So I think it was Lainey used to do Tuesdays, but I don't think she does anymore. So we've got Limelight Vinty in as well. Good evening.
Hi, Lima.
So I've put all your links in the description for your channel anyway, and for your Instagram. So hopefully, if people don't come in, they will watch it back. So hopefully, there'll be some new subscribers. Do you just want to tell people about yourself, how you got into reselling and?
So obviously I'm Sophie. I got into reselling because I wanted to make some extra money. Um, I've always wanted to have my own business. Like I've always wanted to work for myself, and I was like, I don't really kind of want to go through life having not done it.
Yeah.
And I tried like different things in the past. And yeah, so I was kind of just looking for like a new thing to start really, and just to make extra money. So I started reselling in January of this year. So I'm coming up for like my first year now. And it's one of the best things I've done, to be honest. Like I wish I'd started it sooner.
Mm.
But yeah, I really enjoy it. I'm hoping I'll be able to cut hours down at work gradually, and I've got a goal to kind of go full time. But I'm not kind of
Yeah.
set a date for that as such. I'm just kind of going to let it happen, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it was just a way to get extra money, and now it's like I want to do it like as my job now.
And how long have you been reselling?
Just coming up for a year now. So I started in January this year. I did
Mm,
dabble around with like Pokemon cards and things like that, like before, but
mm,
I didn't do anything like serious. It was just like if I'd pulled out some bulk from a pack or whatever, I just
mm.
stuck it on. Um, and yeah, but I just kind of dabbled around with it, and then I thought actually I'm going to start doing this like properly. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. So we've got Ian in now. My mum's saying hello to Rich and Sophie. Ian saying hello. Um, so what is it you do for a full time job?
So I'm a nurse. I
Okay,
work for the NHS.
okay.
I work on the bank. So what that means is basically when people go off sick or are on
Yeah,
holiday or
yeah.
whatever, I go in and cover it essentially.
Mm,
Or
mm,
so, they've got vacancies that aren't filled, which is very often the case.
yeah.
um, so yeah, because like there's such a nurse shortage that I can spend like 3 or 4 days a week in one place for like a year.
So
Because
you travel about like all over then, or is it just
no,
local to you?
I just do the local hospitals here, so Cheltenham and Gloucester.
Mm,
I did do a little bit of agency, which requires you to like travel about because you're not allowed to do agency like in your own hospitals like that you work
yeah,
for.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I used to kind of travel around a little bit,
Mm,
but yeah, I just prefer just doing bank really. It just suits me. Like I can pick and choose what I do, what I want to
mm,
do, where I want to work, what times, what
yeah.
days. And then if you go somewhere and you don't like it, you don't have to go back again. So
Is it just hospitals, or do you do like care homes as well?
just hospitals, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, my wife uses a lot of agencies and stuff, and
Yeah.
most of them are brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And there's a few that she's thought I'd love to have as full time staff because the
Yeah.
problem is that she gets let down by the full time staff, and that they don't pick up the extra hours and stuff like hence last
Yeah.
night when someone didn't turn in, and then no one else would pick up the hours, so she
Yeah.
had to go. She's the manager, and she had to go in and do it herself and work
Yeah.
through the night after working the day and then come home, have a few hours and then back again. It's
Yeah.
just a nightmare, isn't it? Like the healthcare industry, it's just crazy. I can see why I can see it's rewarding
Yeah.
in the satisfaction way, but definitely not. I think everyone in the healthcare sector is underpaid. It's
Yeah.
and I can see why people are coming away from it, and I can see why you want to go full time reselling. You know,
Yeah.
have you got sort of Have you ever, in your year of doing it, have you ever thought, oh, like, sort of started thinking now's the time? Has it ever been going really good
Yeah. No,
and you thought,
I did have like a stage where I was doing like 100, £150 a week, like consistently. And it had
yeah,
grown from like, I was only doing like 50 a week. Then it went up to like 70, then 100, 150. And I was like,
mm,
oh my God, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And you could see it like growing. And I thought, oh
yeah,
my God, I might actually be able to do this. And then kind of around like the time when they started announcing, like cost of living crisis stuff and rise
yeah,
of petrol, gas, things like that, it just slumped. And I've never had weeks like that since. Like for 6 weeks, like every week consistently, I was doing
mm,
100, Now I'm starting to get back up to like that £100 level.
yeah,
But it's really hit and miss for me at the moment.
yeah.
So
I mean, that's what I always say, because like obviously with me, when I made the leap, it was it was easier for me because I was made furloughed.
yeah,
So I started selling my own stuff. Like, I had a load of stuff about and stuff from doing car boots and just stuff I collected over the years, really. And when I've moved, I just somehow gathered all this crap. Well, sorry, quality merchandise. Um, and I just started selling stuff because I thought, when was the last time I used that? Probably 2 years ago. I haven't used that. I don't even look at that when I walk past it. It's like it's got to go. So for me, it was easier because I was doing it while I was made furloughed, and I thought I can do this and stuff.
yeah,
And it was also the first lockdown, so obviously the first lockdown was amazing, and people were just buying online because you couldn't go out. So everyone was buying everything you listed, sold. You know, Facebook Marketplace was amazing,
Yeah.
because like free pickups and people just having clear outs and stuff, selling stuff cheap. It was lovely.
Yeah.
And obviously then sort of finding out my brother was ill a week afterwards. So I sort of started going up and seeing him, and then they called me back to work and I had him a notice in, and then sort of took care of him.
Yeah.
But so it was easier for me, and I was sort of in a position where half of it was the fact that I was doing all right on eBay, and half of it was the fact that I wanted to sort of help my brother and spend as much time as I could with him as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I still love it, but today when I spent 5 hours looking for one t-shirt that sold for £8.95 including postage, I hated it.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh God, if I only, like, you know, for 5 minutes I sort of thought I'd love to be working for someone else again because this is just too stressful. You know, but you know, it is nice that you can work for yourself and you've got your time and that. You know, I mean, for yourself, what sort of thing? What's your sort of favourite thing to buy and sell?
I
Have you
mean,
got a favourite thing?
I always started with clothing when I
Oh,
started
Paula.
to start properly. I started with clothing.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that is still one of my favorite things. I mean, for some reason, I don't know why, but I always go straight for menswear.
Yeah.
I think menswear and gaming consoles as well,
Hmm.
like bundles. I think that's
Yeah.
like my favorite kind of stuff, really.
I think menswear is just easier than women's. I think it's just easier because there's not such a variation of it. It's like it's just easy. You know, I know some women's stuff goes for really good money, and I know Lee Cola Flipper does well with women's stuff. And I wished I had the patience and to just learn about it.
Yeah,
But like men's stuff's just so easy because I know what I like. I'm thinking if I like it, someone else will like it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, so we've got Paula in and Limelight Vintage saying, do you find that as Cheltenham is an affluent area, that the charity shops have better items or just more expensive items?
literally just more expensive. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say they're any better. I mean, like, sorry, I'm under my duvet, everyone.
I don't blame you. Like I said to you before, I said I was thinking about coming down and having a blanket wrapped around me. So I'm down the shed down the garden with no heating. It's
um, yeah, it's literally just more expensive. Like, if you travel like 10 miles up the road to Gloucester, like, although it's like a historic city, it really
yeah.
doesn't have a lot going for it. And
Mm.
it's like the rougher area.
Oh,
So the
really?
shops, yeah. So like the charity shops there, like they are cheaper, and I've had like pretty good hauls out of them as well for like, quite reasonable prices.
Mm.
But if you go down somewhere called Bath Road in Cheltenham, like they will happily put coats on for like £50 to £70, like with no
Yeah.
problem.
It's
Um,
nuts.
yeah, and even like I think even like your average Joe isn't gonna buy a coat for like £70 from a charity shop. Like
Yeah.
I just don't think they would. But yeah, some little pocket. There's a little pocket of Cheltenham that isn't too expensive. A couple of charity shops there, but
Mm.
Bath Road is definitely like crazy. But
Do you travel further afield, or is it just local stuff you do?
just local, really. I do want to travel further afield. I keep like thinking, oh, I really should, do something. But
Mm.
yeah, it's just kind of been local lately. But yeah, definitely like next year, I think I'm going to start doing a bit of traveling around.
Mm. Yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it, to find like other areas and see what their stuff goes for.
Yeah.
Sean's in, he said, I am so sorry, Sophie. Not only am I late, but I've arrived mid-rich rant. I feel your pain. I've been waiting 3 days for the depressing beadstead to send me his, yeah, I forgot, Sean. I'll do it. I'll literally do it after this. Sorry, mate. You should have reminded me. I've got a brain like a sieve, you know that. Oh, lucky I already know it. There you go. So you got it already. Gotta love Sean. Um, So if you could niche down to one thing, then you would niche down to. Sorry, my bloody mouse is beeping. Would you? What would you do? Would you do the men's stuff or the other thing?
I have thought about menswear, to be honest. I don't think. I mean, I could obviously like technically set up like 2 stores and have one just menswear and one everything.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm quite ready to niche yet. I feel like I need to get out my system still, just buying everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there anything you don't know much about that you want to learn more about? I mean, I always said that I'd like to learn more about the gaming consoles and the games and all that, but like there's so many people doing it. It's like, it's just something that I don't know a lot about. I've got an Xbox One. I've hardly used it. Xbox One X, I hardly used it. And I went to look at it the other day to sell it.
yeah,
And I paid 400 quid for it new. And like they're going for 100 quid if you're lucky.
yeah, yeah,
Crazy, and I've hardly ever used it. It's just nuts
yeah.
how much it's dropped off.
It's
But
like cars,
then,
isn't it? The minute you drive them off the forecourt, they just devalue straight away.
yeah, yeah. But then, like the Wii's, I mean, I know it was lockdown, but the Wii's were going for amazing prices. And I bought an old Xbox 360, and I say an old Xbox 360, it was boxed. It hadn't had the Union, it was the Union Jack one. It hadn't had the transfers put on it or anything like that. And it was in such good condition. And I paid 15 quid for it and sold that for over 100 quid. That was a lovely little profit. And
Yeah,
I've sold a Wii and made sort of a tenner profit or 15 quid profit on it. But it's just like, for me, where I've had so much rubbish and I'm clearing out now, they're quite bulky things to have stored, I think,
yeah.
for me.
Especially like the Xbox 360s. Like I've got about 3 or 4 of them around at the moment,
Yeah.
and they just take up so much space.
Do
Like
they take quite a while to go as well?
these ones are. I've usually done all right with Xboxes, to be honest, and Wii's. Like usually consoles, I don't do too bad. Like tops, the amount of time I have it is usually like a month. But these are sticking a little bit, and can't quite work out why. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because everyone's wary at Christmas, maybe, of the money and that.
Yeah.
Junie's in. Evening, Junie. Sean saying, Sophie, loving the duvet. To my eyes, you look like an untoasted marshmallow.
Yeah, I am a marshmallow, but I got my Harry
She's
Potter
a,
duvet.
oh, nice. She's
Yeah.
a toasty marshmallow. Junie saying, hi, Cassie. Long time since she's in the chat. Hope doing okay. Everyone's saying hello, which is nice. Same, Rich. Either way, I don't use. Not sure if worth selling. Yeah, and sometimes it's like I've got a load of electronic separate things, and like when you look them up and they're like worth like 17 quid, 15 quid, and you think,
Yeah.
I might as well just take it to a boot sale rather than have all the hassle of packing it. But then I've sold CRT TVs, and I don't mind packing the big stuff like that. The CRT TVs, I was picking them up for either free or for fivers, and
Yeah.
like selling them for 60s upwards. And I've still got a couple I've got to pull out the other side of the shed and get on. But I saw, who did I see? Someone sold one the other day for 60 quid. I think it might have been Dave ABL. And so
I still buy Wii's, and I've got rid of. I've probably sold about 3 or 4, to be honest, and they've gone better than the Xboxes that I've got.
really,
Yeah. I don't know whether I just had like a bit of a lucky run with them, but I think it depends what you pair up with them as well. Like if you can put like the balance board in, or if you've got any like accessories and things like that, a good amount of games, a couple of controllers, a couple of the nunchucks, like. If you put a big enough bundle up together, you could get like 80 quid. I've sold one for 80 quid before, but it had loads of stuff with it.
Yeah. I think people like a bundle, don't they?
Yeah.
So Sean's saying, literally buried in stock I bought this week. It's been a really good buying period, but the next week is crucial for Christmas. List it now or sit on it for months.
Yeah.
Very true. That's what I was hoping to get done today. I was hoping to get a ton of listing done, and obviously start to say, because I was looking for a damn t-shirt, I just got nothing else done. So tomorrow, not only am I pug sitting, but I've also got to try and work while I'm pug sitting, and he's a crazy dog. Absolutely crazy little pup. Good evening, Sean. Good to see you. We've got the sand van in from Australia. Good evening to Australia. Hope you're well. Still quite white, a bit better. It's a cold one tonight. It is. That's
Yeah.
why I've got. It looks like I've got a jacket on, but it's not. It's just a thick. It's just a thick zip up hoodie because I'm down the shed with no
And
heating.
I'm marshmallow.
Yeah, you're nice and toasty. Sharon's saying hello, all Sophie and Rich. Sharon's in. Yeah, that's good that Junie's getting better. Very cold. It certainly is. So, obviously, you say that you want to go full time,
Mm.
which is really good. Um, have you got a rough idea how long it's going to take? Or like, I know you said you're going to play it by ear, so you're just going to see how
Yeah,
it goes. Have you got sort of a thing where you're thinking, 2 years down the road, I'd like to be full time, or 5 years down the road?
I mean, like when I was going through that stage where it was obviously building, like I talked about earlier, I
Mm,
was kind of thinking, oh shit, by the end of the year, like I could do it. But
yeah,
then it's all like kind of slumped. So it's kind of building that back up again. But I think I want to make 2023 kind of the year of the business, if you like.
yeah,
And hopefully, maybe by like the end of next year. But
mm,
I just got to see. I mean, like, I went through a stage this year where I was like, that's like I'm gonna do it, and I reckon by the end of the year I could do it, but then it hasn't happened. So
yeah.
yeah. And I don't want to kind of put too much pressure on
No,
myself.
don't. Yeah, that's the worst thing you could do because
Yeah. So I
it
think you
just drive
start
you
getting
mad.
a bit miserable with it then.
Yeah,
Well, because you're like, well, why isn't this working for me? Like, why haven't I sold all this? And why is everyone else selling stuff and I'm not? And blah blah
mm,
blah. Don't you? And I
yeah,
just, yeah. So that's kind of why I say just play it by ear, because I have done.
yeah,
I have put too much pressure on myself as well.
yeah. It's not worth doing that. It's not worth
Yeah.
doing that because you'll just kill yourself before you even start. Sean saying, glad to hear Journey D thinking of the positives. Could be worse. You could be a subscriber to Rich's OnlyFans. That's a level of depravity most never recover from. Thanks, Sean. Um, if a cold one, yeah, I think it's going to be really cold. I think people might be scraping their cars off in the morning.
Mm.
Everyone's saying hello. Have you tried Depop, Richard and Sophie? I haven't tried Depop. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I think Depop's like a younger person's thing. I don't know. I just think I'm too old for it.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't like Depop. I've stopped listening on there because I used to get a sale literally like once in a blue moon, and it
Mm,
just wasn't worth my time.
yeah,
Plus, the fees on there are the highest. Um, I've done a video on my channel actually comparing eBay Vinted and Depop,
yeah,
and so if anyone does want to watch that,
mm,
but yeah, the fees come out the highest. Like you can end up paying like up to about 22% in.
really.
Yeah.
Vintage free, isn't it? It's like because it's supposed to
Yeah.
be your own stuff, isn't it? I
Yeah,
suppose
so Vinted,
you could
like
blag
they don't
some stuff.
charge you any fees, and the buyer pays the shipping as well, and the buyer
Right.
pays like the fee. They call it like the buyer protection fee. So essentially, if anything goes wrong, they get their money back straight away.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, there's no fees. But with Depop, I think you pay. I think it was something like a 10% fee when you sell, and then you get a 2.9% transaction fee from PayPal or Depop payments, whichever one you use.
yeah.
And then if it's sold for a boosted listing, you get charged another 8%. So
Wow.
it's just like a flat 8% fee.
So
So
it adds up, doesn't it?
yeah,
Wow. I've never used it. I kept thinking, oh, everyone's going sell it on Vinted, and I'm thinking,
yeah,
oh, I might just sell some old stuff on there, but might just whack it on eBay.
yeah,
I think it just for me it just gets. I don't know. I'm a bloke, so I can't multitask because having multi platforms like just the one's easy, isn't it? I like easy.
yeah,
Um, Jeannie saying, I am already Sean, but my eyes are so bad I can't see his photos only on OnlyFans that well. Everything looks smaller than it is, I think. Thank you. Dear oh dear. I'm getting slated tonight. Sophie, with your working bank hours, could you work 6 months through the winter only and then have 6 months off over the summer to do just reselling?
I mean, I probably could do something like that, but I'd have to literally work like every single day with like no day off,
Yeah.
which I don't think
Mm.
I'd be able to do, to be honest. But
Do you get offered work every day though, or is it sort of?
yeah, I just go down the website, and it will tell me basically like all the shifts for everywhere.
Mm,
And you can pick to about 2 months in advance as well.
wow.
So I'll know what I'm doing for 2 months at a time until the next lot of rota comes out, and then I'll just
Mm.
pick more shifts.
So you've got that. That's nice having that. I mean, like you say, while you're building your business, you have got that where you know you've got work every day if you want it. You're not sort of going to go days like where I'm doing the driving. It's a nightmare, and I'm just a casual driver like bank, but it's been weeks since I've had anything. Then I had one day where I did 13 and a quarter hours straight and like nothing since. And
Yeah,
it's just, I sat there today thinking I'm just gonna send them a message and tell them to take me off their list because like
yeah,
there's no point in faffing about with it.
yeah,
And it might force their hand to give me more work because,
yeah,
they know I'm decent at it. So I don't know. It
yeah,
just like it just winds me up just knowing that I'm sat there like, I could do with a bit of extra work, and it's just not happening.
yeah,
Like, it's just
exactly.
a bit of a nightmare at the minute.
No, I'm pretty lucky. Like, that I think there's what, like 100,000 nursing vacancies, like across
Yeah,
the country. Um, and the thing is, they don't make it easy for like the younger ones to come in or want to do their training now because like the NHS used to pay your tuition fees.
yep,
And when they were like, 3.5 grand or whatever tuition fees, like I trained when it was that price and the NHS
yeah,
paid them. Now they're like 9.5 grand. The NHS aren't paying them. So
wow,
why would you do 3 years training for like a really hard job and then come out with more debt than your starting wage?
yeah,
Wow. Like who does that? So they don't
wow,
make it enticing or
yeah,
attractive. Um, so
mm.
yeah. Although I'm going on strike on the 15th.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, everyone else is, so you might as well. The
Yeah,
Royal Mail's on strike and the trains go on strike, so,
yeah.
you know, you might as well. So to do. Yeah, question for Sophie. Leanne says, "Where do you source your stock from mostly?"
Um, well, during the summer months, car boots mainly. Winter months, charity shops, go to kilo sales. Um, Vinted itself as well is good for sourcing.
Oh, really?
And look at Facebook Marketplace, Olio
Mm.
as well, which is an app, and basically people put on their stuff they don't want anymore, and it's free, and you just have to go and pick it up.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Yeah,
so
so that depends when it is really. So
yeah,
when car boots are going on, it's mostly car boots. That's the
yeah,
best place to source, I think. It's just
oh
you get the
yeah,
bargains and you pay the cheapest prices and get the decent. I think that's where you get the most decent bits because now the charity shops are just so extortionate. I went in
yeah,
one today and like there was a jacket in there and it wasn't even a really nice jacket. And like you say, it's 75 quid and trainers at like 90s and 100 quids and you just think,
mm,
really?
yeah,
Like, it's just you're pricing customers out because, I mean, I used to go in there and I used to buy shirts, like men's dress shirts at like they were I'd wait till they were reduced from a fiver down to like 2 quids, and
yeah,
I got some really nice ones. And now they don't even reduce. I said, "Oh, when are these shirts getting reduced down?" He said, "We don't do it anymore. They go now to our pound shop." So they all go into like their pound store and
yeah,
just get sold off there. Like they don't even reduce them down, which is crazy to me because the shop could be selling them at 2 quid and yet they're shipping everything that
yeah,
doesn't sell, everything that doesn't sell in the shop, they're shipping off to a pound store. But it's I just think I know that James does all right from charity shops because he's up north, but like our ones are just ridiculous. I mean,
yeah,
I'd go in there every day. Actually, I've been in today to my favourite one because I've got a favourite one which prices sensibly.
Yeah.
and I bought a brand spanking new pair of Samuel Windsor boots, men's boots, handmade boots. Got the stretchers, never been worn. The soles are immaculate. The whole boot's immaculate. It's got the shoe stretchers in. It's got the bags for each boot, and I paid £6.50, and they're like a 40 quid pair of boots. And I bought a pair of kids' Heelys, which also not been worn, brand new in the box. The only thing is, they've got some little clipping bits that when you take the wheels out, you clip them in and wear them for shoes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Um, there's one of them missing, but like I checked on them, and they're like a 40 quid pair of things, and I paid 3.50 for them. So
Yeah.
spent a tenner and got sort of 80 quid's worth of
Yeah.
stock out of there. So like that's the only one really that I find. That's where I get all my decent bits now. I don't really even bother looking in the other ones. It's just pointless because they
Yeah.
are like because they look boutiquey. Now the prices are boutiquey as well. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just stupid. Like it's charity stuff. They've been giving it for nothing, and they'd
Yeah.
rather have it sit about for weeks and months rather than sell it. Just
Yeah, I know,
doesn't make
that's what I
sense.
don't understand, and there's been, like, a couple of times I've, seen things in a shop and been, like, really tempted to kinda say, "Look, I know you've had this for months,
Mm,
like, I know it's been on your shelf for months, like, would you do it for this?" But
mm.
then I haven't quite managed to get the courage up to do it.
Well, the one I go in where I get all my good bits from, the lady in there is lovely, and I went in there today, and I went to pay, and they don't only take cash in this one, so like I went, oh God's sake, I said I said keep hold of them for me. I'm going to pop home. I'll be back in 5 minutes. She said, just
Yeah,
take them and pay me next time you're in, and she always does it. I always go in and pay her, but like it's just nice that they do that. And then like I saw a pair, I got a pair of Wellington boots from there the other week, and they were up for something daft. I don't know, maybe 20. I mean, not daft for the thing. They're still 40 quid boots, but they were up for something like 20. And I said, I said they're nice, but like too expensive.
yeah,
And she sort of say, well, what do you think? I said, well, they're brand new Wellington, so like I'd sort of pay a tenner if I was going to buy them. And she went, no, go on, then a tenner.
mm,
So, like, it's nice that you've got that relationship, but
yeah,
yeah, it's hard going in one of the other ones and going, look, that's really expensive. Like, yeah, yeah, you just know they're going to say no before you even ask. So I don't even go in and ask.
no,
Sean saying the biggest tips for going full time are you already need to be earning enough from it to pay the bills, and most importantly is to cut all the drains on your money. The more you have, the harder it is. Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. That's true. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Sean saying you need a 50 plus inch screen and a magnifying glass. Thank you, Sean. uh, they're just slating me. Uh, Bank and casual jobs follow the demand and are not great if you need work. Yeah, but like, it sounds like if you're in the NHS and you bank on the NHS, it seems like you're getting
yeah.
offered enough work to do it.
Oh, yeah, like, I could work every single, day of the week if I wanted to.
Yeah, and
No.
that's nice. It's nice to know that you've got that,
Mm,
that's having that. I mean, I know I had my full time job, but then they laid me off, and I say it was just grotty. So for me, it was an easier decision. But if I had something where I could sort of, if this driving job was like, if I wanted driving every day, I could have it, and I could do my reselling as well. That would that would be nicer to know that you've got that work. Because at the minute, I'm just thinking, I've got a crack on. I'm looking 5 hours for a t-shirt. The whole day's gone now. I've got nothing done, and like it's not like I can phone them up and say, "Oh, I'll do some driving tomorrow." Like I say, I've been waiting weeks, and it's days and weeks in between jobs. It's just crazy. Surprised eBayers haven't gone on strike. Yeah, yeah. Everyone else has. Happy Tuesday, Kath. Kathy's in. You guys are worthy of so much more. Wish. Yes, they are good. Kath saying hello. Sean saying people never plan for the winter. They sit in bed and are casual about getting to boots. Forgetting they have 5 months with them closed. I'm lucky selling older stuff, but clothing I would be stuffed. Yeah, and that's it. Like when you got it good during the year, like I say, you just sort of make hay while the sun shines, don't you? You don't sort of think about the bad months. I mean, you know, I sort of go out looking for stuff now, whereas where I've been getting rid of all the smaller stuff and doing the car boots and that, really, I should have been looking for a few bargains to put away, but you never think of it. There's a lot of people that sort of in sort of early to mid or all year up to sort of September, October are buying Christmas stuff. You
Yeah,
know, I think James done it last year and he made a killing on it at Christmas, and I just didn't even fit. Not that I've seen loads of it, but like I just didn't think. Like
yeah.
even doing stuff like that and picking like the vintage Christmas decorations and charity stuff up. Um, yeah, you just don't think of it. I'm just not a very good planner. I sort of wing it by the seat of my pants, which ain't good. Not all charity shops up north are cheap, Rich. Our local ones aren't. Wow, the ones James seems to do all right. He always seems to do all right, but then he's up by the Rohan factory, so like they get seems to that all the Rohan they're up there, and it all ends up where he is, which is nice for him. Uh, People forget the volume you need to keep going. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's why I said I used to pick up anything and everything, and like three bundles of DVDs. DVDs aren't worth anything. Like it's just not even worth using them as tea coasters.
Yeah.
It's it's like I've got thousands of them because I just used to pick them all up all the time, and they're taking up so much room, and that's why. Like once I get to them, they're going to charity shops, you know. Or if car boots start up, I might keep some to do at car boots, but even at car boots, people don't want them anymore.
No,
It,
there's just no, like, they're just totally out of demand now, aren't they? Like, there's just no need for them now.
yeah, yeah, and that's it because of all the streaming services and that. Basically any film you want, you can stream anyway. So
Yeah,
um, if you sell 100 items a month, that's a mountain of stock to source, and it's a mountain of stock to blooming have sat about as well.
yeah,
Um, Really weird replying to comments on your own video on YouTube, Kath. Weird, but a good feeling. Yeah, I always reply. Yeah, charity shops are crazy prices. Never bother with them now. There is more going on than charity. It's greedy. Yeah, it's just say they get it for nothing. You'd think they'd want to shift it on and make room for more. You know, I've seen they've got so high prices, and I've seen people going saying, "Are you taking donations?" And they're saying, "We can't take any donations. We're full up." Well, no wonder you're full up. You're not selling
yeah,
anything.
yeah, exactly.
The
And I
Dave's
just
in.
know if you're that poor that you need to use charity shops, you're not gonna spend that sort of money anyway. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So,
Dave's in. Hi, Dave. Listening while driving. Cassie saying, "Rich, couldn't you volunteer one day a week at a charity shop and grab all the good stuff?" I mean, the thing is, I used to volunteer in one of the biggest one in Littlehampton, and at the time, I knew the manageress, and I used to help them out with all their sorting stuff out and everything. And she said, if you want anything, just put it in a pile at the end of the day, and I'll sort it out. And then obviously when my brother got really ill, I had to give it up. And I sort of went back there recently and asked, do you need any volunteers? And they said, "Oh, we're just overrun with volunteers." And not being funny, it's all new staff in there now, and I don't think I'd get any deals, to be honest with you. I think if I was buying something, they'd just charge me what they wanted for it, and I just
yeah,
don't think I just think the days of you scratch my back and I scratch yours, like I think that's gone. I think it's
yeah,
done.
yeah.
I think
Like charity shops, like they must. Well, they obviously know what everything goes for, don't they? Because they literally match their prices to eBay, even in the shops now, don't they?
Yeah, well, that I know for a fact because, like, when I went in to see whether they wanted any more work, the guy was saying, "Cool, this drill's this much on eBay," and like, so they've got someone sitting there looking through
Yeah,
eBay at prices. When I was in there, one of the women once said to me, she said, "Oh, have a look, see how much it is on eBay," and I'm thinking, "Don't." It's like it
yeah.
started already. Do you know what I mean? It's like God Almighty.
I mean,
It's
all
not.
the charity shops have got their own eBay pages as well.
Yeah, a lot of them have now. Yeah,
I think I follow the Bernardo's one, and they literally start every auction at 9.99, regardless of what it is.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Everything is listed for a start price of £9.99, even if it's not a £9.99 item.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, and they must know that, resellers are the bulk of their customer base.
Yeah.
So,
Leanne, no, I didn't find the t-shirt. I've got 2 more boxes I can look in, but I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. And if the stupid thing is, I'm in Littlehampton, and the guy that bought it is in Worthing, which is like 10 minutes down the road. So I was going to drive it there today, and then yeah, so that's it. That's another thing that's a bit of a pain. Jeannie's saying, miss the start of this. So are you still working as a nurse full time, Sophie, and part time eBaying?
yeah, so I work full time as a nurse and then fit eBay in wherever I can at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, the marshmallow has a pistachio top, like in the bed cheek, Sophie. Love Sean.
I'd do really well in OnlyFans, wouldn't I? Pistachio and marshmallow and things.
Good. Hi, Jade Knight, and all the rest of you lovely rich support workers I missed. all my support workers. Getting better. Has anybody got any reselling questions for Sophie or myself? Rich, you live within spitting distance of Ford car boot. You should source from there and never need to visit anywhere else. You say that, but Ford car boot is more like an antiques market. It's for you, Sean. It'd be amazing for you. But for me, just buying what I buy, like anything and everything, you've either got to get in early, you've got to be very quick, or get in with the sellers as well, because people hire trolley. They get a trolley from the front, and they like the dealers get in there, and they obviously get people to put stuff by for them. So all the people that are in there with the electronics, the VHSs, the DVDs, or the Blu-rays, or whatever, all the vintage electronics, they're telling the people, they're holding it for the people that come round. They're regulars, and I don't buy antiques. I don't know about antiques, and a lot of them are antique stuff. Boot sale wise, there's not a lot of boot sale stuff there that's any good, really. So it's a difficult one.
Rich or not?
I think it's on. I mean, it's still on now. I don't know if it ever closes. I think it might be year round. I'm not sure. It's an outside one, so I would think it would shut. Although I've been doing reselling for a couple of years now, I've not really looked into how long that one runs for, because there was a different one that I prefer, that actually the land's been sold off now, so they don't actually do that one. But yeah, I mean, all the time Ford's on. Once I get ahead of myself and get a bit of a cash flow going on, then I'll obviously do Ford. But like I say, it's a bit hit and miss with Ford. I can go there one day and find some bargains, and I can go there 7 times after that and find nothing. You just got to know, if you're niching down, it's like Amanda does toys, like vintage toys and stuff, so she knows what she's looking at with that. What I've got to do really is, while it is quiet, and I've got to obviously crack on with the listing, and also get learning and watch videos, because although these days, I am at home and I could have a video on in the background, if I'm watching a video and I'm trying to learn something, I want to watch it rather than listen to it.
Yeah.
So that if someone's showing something, to look out for, like a fake jumper, I want to be looking at what I'm trying to learn, rather than just listening to it.
I think actually that's something I need to get a little bit better at, is spotting fake items.
Yeah.
Oh, you get really good fakes now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to get a bit better at it.
I watch this guy. He's only in Southampton actually, but he does Rolex. He does like expensive watches. That was his business. His name's Paul Thorpe. I've been watching him because he went to Goodwood and stuff like that. So he's like local to me. But he's done a thing now where he's gone to, I think, Turkey, because he's saying that the fake Rolexes and that come out of Turkey now are so good, so good, that you can't tell they're fake unless you take them apart.
Yeah.
and look at the insides, and that's mental.
Yeah.
That's mental. You know, you used to go to Spain and that and buy a 20 quid or a 30 quid fake Rolex. You know, you could tell it's fake, but now they're so good. He's saying even the watch dealers can't tell unless they take them apart and have a look inside,
Yeah.
which is nuts to me.
Yeah.
Evening, Steve. Steve, movie chats. He's in. Yeah, I mean, fakes. I don't claim to be able to, but I wouldn't be able to go. I'm not good enough with clothing. I do a few bits of clothing,
Mm.
but I'm not good enough to go and say, "Oh, that Stone Island jumper's authentic." I wouldn't be able to tell. I wouldn't be able to tell. I know everyone says, "Oh, look at the label inside and see the code and the way the label's glued in or attached."
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much for my brain at the minute, where I'm just trying to catch up with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to get more into trainers and footwear because, like, trainers just go so well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I got caught out with a Barcelona shirt, and it had like it was newer tags as well, and
yeah,
I got it at Car Boot and put it on, and I had so much interest, but everyone straight away said, "Can I see the label on the inside?" And I
yeah,
was like, "Yeah, fine, like no problem," because as far as I was concerned, I bought a brand new with tags,
yeah,
shirt. Every single person said, "Oh, sorry, that's fake. That's fake. That's fake."
mm,
And I think it had no QR code. That was literally it.
wow, really?
Yeah, and it had these like Nike and Barcelona tags on them, like
Yeah.
everything.
I bought a
And
couple of football shirts, but like I say, once again, I wouldn't be able to tell what's real and what's not. You know,
mm,
there's people that I've seen on YouTube that can tell a vintage shirt and tell if that's genuine, but I've not got a clue. I don't watch football anyway. I'm not
no, you're not a football fan, are you,
I'm
Rick?
not a football fan. So for me, things like that, I would like to learn about because I've seen football shirts go for blooming good money, but
Yeah,
it's just not something I'm interested in. So although I
yeah,
should be because it's making money, so I should be
yeah.
interested in it.
If it's something you're not interested in, it's hard to sell, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
definitely.
difficult to kind of
Um,
sell and feel passionate about it if you're just not interested.
yeah. Jeannie's saying, are you aiming to go full time and give up nursing? Yes, she is. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we spoke about it earlier, didn't we? And you said that you want to go full time, obviously, when the time's right.
Yeah,
Which
I mean, I've
which
worked
is
for the
different.
NHS since like 2006. So since I was
Mm,
like 17, I'm 34 now. So I'm kind of just ready for a new challenge.
yeah.
Really.
Line like Vinny saying, what gift would you like Father Christmas to give you to help your reselling?
Oh, a storage unit.
It'd be nice, yeah, it'd be nice to get given one because, like, I've had storage units in the past, and I've said I would never have another one. Although I could do with getting rid of stuff here in the other side more so because I can't move in there. And like I say, it's taken me 5 hours, and because it's wet outside, I've had to be careful where I've bought stuff out and put it. So
Yeah,
yeah, storage units are good as long as you're selling a lot of stuff. Your stuff's moving really
yeah,
quick, and what you're selling's going in and out. Because I've had 3 storage units, and yeah, for
yeah,
me, if you're not on it and you're not selling and the stuff's not going, and it's gonna sit there. By the
yeah.
time you've paid a couple of months' rent, the stuff in there's not worth anything. The stock's worth 0.
I'd love
Um,
to have my flat back though. It's literally like half of
yeah,
my front room is like I've kind of got a line like here. So on
yeah,
that side of the room is literally boxes,
yeah,
bags, everything.
yeah,
And this side of the room is like where I sit and watch telly or whatever.
yeah.
I would
Yeah,
want,
I mean, it's ideal. Like I say, if it's working for you, I mean, George Ross had one for ages, didn't he? And it was obviously working for him. For me, it wasn't working.
yeah,
I just had too much going on as well at the time. So for me, it wasn't great. For me, if Santa could give me anything, it'd be the knowledge about everything.
yeah,
So the knowledge about games, consoles, clothing, looking out for fakes, branded stuff, branded clothing. Like, if he could give me the knowledge about everything, I'd really appreciate it.
yeah,
Actually haven't asked him, but I should ask him whether that's possible. Um, How do we handle late deliveries with anxious buyers in December? Greetings from Sydney. Good evening, Duncan. Well, probably good day for you.
Yeah.
I list Queen Victoria British Emperor ephemera on eBay UK. Nice. How would you handle late deliveries and anxious buyers?
Well, I had this because obviously we had the Royal Mail post strike, didn't we?
Yeah.
And loads of my stuff was took a couple of weeks
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
And I had people, messaging me saying like, where is my stuff? And I was like, well, it's been a strike for a start.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to just be patient and give it, some more time.
Mm.
And usually that's like enough as long as you keep like with the communication.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to because anything I send with Royal Mail, I don't send tracked. Like I literally just send it standard second class.
Yeah.
So I tend to take a picture of the the proof of postage slip
Yeah.
that you get, because it's got like a reference number on there. It's not a tracking number, but it's a reference number. It quite often just makes people feel a bit better because they can see that you've posted it. So for every order, I used to do that, but I don't now. I used to take a picture of that, send it, and say your item's been sent. That way they know
See,
it's there.
I've got a couple going on at the minute with things that haven't turned up, and it's been over 2 weeks now. And they're saying we've got your item or whatever. It's not gone any further. The last scan was like on the 14th of November. So one is a set of green, but the bowls, like, how can you? It's over 10 kilos. It's like, how can you lose it?
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of guys with that at the minute, and I've got a claim going on. And he messaged me the other day, and I said, look, I've got a claim going on, and they're still trying to track it. So I messaged him yesterday. I've messaged another one today with, like, he bought all my old film photos and that I sold, call sheets from films, like old films as well, like Oliver Reed and stuff like that, photos of Oliver Reed. And I'm gutted if they get lost, because like I've had them ages, and like it's a bit of like film history.
Yeah.
And so I would be gutted if they don't. But that's another thing that's lost. And he's messaged today saying any update on it, and it's still saying the same thing. All it's saying is a grievance raised. So I've got to phone them up again tomorrow. So all you can do, like Sophie said, is like chase it up, be on the ball with it, be honest with the buyers. If it gets to the stage where they don't want to wait anymore, you just got to deal with it and refund, I suppose.
Yeah.
But and then just do your claim. But it's a
You will
nightmare.
see more anxious buyers at this time of year because they want it in time for Christmas, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I would sort of offer an option saying, if you want this in time for Christmas, you need to select like Every or Yodel or something like that. So then you've got the tracking and everything.
Yeah.
But
I say, but I know how I feel. Like if I've bought something and it's been weeks, like, you just want your item, even though it's not the person's fault. Like a few weeks down the line, you're thinking, I just either need the item or I need the money. So I see where people, but like I say, as long as you're honest with them, as long as you keep them updated, I think that's the best thing. And then just deal with whatever they throw at you, really.
Yeah.
Evening, Matt. Matt sells stuff's in. Great visitations. Good evening. How are you? Good. I'm good, thank you. Cold. It's not. It's definitely not warm. Dave's pulled over. So, what is your best sale? What's the best pickup you've ever bought? Say, for cheap and sold and made a good profit on.
I think it was probably a Nintendo Wii, well, one that stands out to me at the moment.
Yeah.
And I got the Wii, 2 controllers, 2 nunchucks, and about 5 games. And I said, "Oh, how much do you want for that?" And he said, £3.
Oh, blimey, really?
I was like, "Can I have a look at it?" And he was like, "Yeah, everything's there." I was like, £3, and he was like, "Yeah." So I got it home, and I half expected not to even work, but it did work. Everything worked on it, And then when I pressed the eject button, it also spat out Mario Party 9 at me. So I was like,
Nice.
so
Nice.
that went for about 70, or I think it was £80 that went for.
Oh, nice.
Because it had like so many games with it.
Mm,
I think I put in an extra couple of bits as well that I had lying about.
yeah.
And yeah, so it was a £3 Wii.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. That's a nice little bargain. So Sean's back. Hi, John. Of course, a long time since we spoke. Have you done any driving jobs recently? I've done a driving job a couple of weeks ago. Other than that, there's not a lot of it coming in at the minute. But yeah, I did 2 pallets up to one to Wellingborough and then one to Tamworth in Staffordshire. So I see the van driving. I helped them out with the local pallet drops, but which is a nightmare because you have like 7, 8 pallets on and you drive all around the local area. I'd rather get the pallets on. That's why I like the fridge van, because I'd get the pallets on, drive it anywhere. Could be anywhere. I've even driven to Scotland and picked up 2 pallets of frozen salmon to bring back down to Chichester. Them sort of jobs, I love it because I just drive and go on autopilot. But yeah, the last one was a couple of weeks ago. Just talking about that, how it's sort of few and far between at the minute. Unfortunately, got Tam and Bell in now saying hi all, footy half time. How dare you watch the football instead of being here? Right, that's it now. I'm unsubscribing. How dare you?
Followers all the time anyway.
Does he?
He won't be by that, I don't think, Rich, because it happens quite a bit to him anyway.
I'll stay subscribed then. What type of things do you sell, Sophie? Anything and everything, I think, is it?
Yeah, mainly like clothing and game consoles, but I do sell pretty much anything and everything, really.
And Junie's saying, is there anything you really want to get into selling but haven't done so far?
I don't know actually, because I kind of pick up everything anyway. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think I haven't really thought about it to be fair, so I don't know yet.
I say I sort of because I had the luxury pickers on and also Chatty Pete, and obviously they do the real decent clothing.
Yeah.
So that's a thing I would like to learn about, but then again, it's knowing the fakes from the reals, and that's what.
Yeah.
You know, you can sort of watch a video and see them like pick up a jump and go, oh, yeah, that's real. But then, like I say, you've got to watch everyone's videos.
Yeah.
To pick up every fake, and I say it's for the moment. At the moment, when you've got so much going on, it's hard enough. It's hard taking it all in.
Yeah.
But say, you know, I want to get rid of all the smaller stuff. That's my plan now, and that's doing the car boots and with my daughter and that, and getting rid of all the smaller stuff now. And I want to get into, you know, my plan sort of going forward now, but more so starting from 2023 is starting off afresh with higher value stuff, better quality stuff, you know, and just not storing loads of crap.
Yeah.
You know, the DVDs aren't worth anything. I've had them years now. I've had them since I started, and they just take up room. I've got a whole rack system next door full of them, and I've got 2 walls here full of them. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Storage units, I've always seen as a drain on your money. You should not have plastic tubs to the ceiling, and get rid of what is stuck at close to cost, as you need to make the space work. Yeah, I say it's horses for courses. George Ross obviously done all right from it when he was doing it. I say for me, it was just I took it on just to clear space here, and then just ended up bringing it back. So it was a bit of a worthless exercise, really. The stock was worth less to me. Leanne's saying there's another Royal Mail strike tomorrow and Thursday. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Duncan is the VR for Victoria Regina. I thought it was for virtual reality, but no, you're probably right. You'll be fine, Rich, unless you use Every. If you did, you'll be seeing it at Car Boot next summer. I always use Every. Do you know what? Until these 2 things have gone missing, I haven't had any problems. And I think the only reason they're having problems is because they're trying to take the load of everybody else. I think it's just they've been flooded with it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Good evening, Amanda.
They've
Hi,
all
everyone. Didn't know this live was on. Just looking at Rich's channel and said he was live. Oh. James is in as well. Bold Finds. Good evening, James.
James.
Good to see you, mate. So I think we've spoken about most things. I mean, is there anything other reselling that we haven't mentioned? I mean, do you drive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you? So you've got because I keep thinking now, like my kids are all grown up, and I really the only time I've ever got anyone in my car. So now the next move for me is get rid of my car really and get a van. I just want a van because it's just so easy. And like, obviously, if you've got loads of stock and you've got nowhere to put it for a while, obviously you can leave it locked in your van. But
Yeah.
that's my next sort of thing. Is there anything like the next step on for your business? I mean, I suppose you've got all. Do you weigh your own parcels? I suppose you've got all your own scales and
No, I
everything like
don't
that.
actually. Like, to be fair, I need loads of stuff. Like, um, I'm taking the whole of January off. I've
Yeah,
saved up like my month's rent and bills to have the whole of January off, so I can have time to really focus on it.
yeah.
But I
That's
need to
good. That's good to be able to do that as well.
yeah,
That's really good to be able to do that.
I need to get a printer as well. I
Yeah,
don't have a printer. Like, I handwrite my labels at the moment.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, I need loads of stuff. But again, it's kind of having the space to have it.
mm,
Like, my processes are quite long, but
yeah, yeah,
it's just how I do it, because
mm.
like it's just what I've got the space for, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You get used to how you do things. I mean, I still and although now every have got printers in the shop, so it's easy. So I do all my bits on the computer, and then just go in
Yeah,
and scan the QR code, and it prints off the labels. My daughter's got me a printer. I'm looking at it now. It's there, and I've got the lead and everything for it. The only thing I haven't got is the labels. So like once that's set up, but like I've written my own addresses since I've been on eBay since 2003, and I've always just written my own labels. So
yeah.
like it's I'm way behind the game really. Everyone else is saying, "Oh, it saves so much time printing off," and I'm way behind the game with it all.
If you sell
Um,
something unvinted though, like say, and they've selected every, you still have to print a label out though. Like, you can't take the label to the shop and they can't scan it for you. If you've
no,
like, been on the website and ordered it, yourself,
yeah,
then you can scan it and they can print it out, can't they? But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
bit of a
I
pain.
think there's a separate bit because when I pay for mine, it comes up and says print off labels. So if you print it off at a certain point, I think you're right. But then they email you the QR code. You have to sort of go in and do it. Miss Q's in. Hi, Miss Q from the States. Great. What you like all the time. So everyone's saying hello to everybody. Let's have a look. Sorry, Thursday. Sorry, Thursday. Long ahead of myself. Richard, you should just take DVDs down the charity shop. You'll feel much better and have more room. That's definitely what's going to happen. I just need to clear some stuff out the way first. I've got to a certain point, and now I just need to clear that last little bit down the end, and I can get rid of the DVDs.
Yeah.
See, I'm a bit funny because I like the physical media, like with the CDs as well. So I like to have that. Um, but even I'm even thinking because I like to keep a few on the shelf for myself.
Yeah.
I'm even starting thinking now, just get rid of it, clear the
Yeah.
blooming stuff out of the
I
way.
think I'm gonna give it till January. So I've got loads of games bundles like on at the moment, like Xbox games, PlayStation games, and things.
Yeah,
And then if they haven't sold, I think I'm gonna take all my DVDs plus all my games and everything down to the CEX shop,
yeah,
trade it up for like,
mm,
a more expensive game like Mario, Pokemon, Zelda,
mm.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. I could take boxes and boxes. Blooming, I must have, I reckon, a couple of thousand DVDs, maybe more, 2 or 3 thousand. So, like, yeah, I'd perhaps box them up and take them to somewhere like CEX and just get a
Yeah,
credit note and just get something that I can sell.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, for thousands of even to pay a couple of pence each.
yeah.
There's Junie's new channel. I've put the links for Sophie's Instagram and YouTube channel in the description. So anyone that's not subscribed, I would think that you all are anyway. But if anybody's not, please go and check out Sophie's channel and subscribe.
I'll find your channel as well, Junie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it really. I think we've spoken about most things. No one's got any more questions. Oh, Duncan's saying any reselling tips. Um, you mean if you're already doing it or if you're getting into it? I always sort of say if you're getting into reselling or thinking about getting into it, sell your own stuff first while you're
Mm,
working alongside your own job. I
yeah,
think that's my best one really.
yeah,
Um, you know, ask family members if they've got anything they want to get rid of that they don't want anymore. Just friends and family, and look around the house. That's sort of how I got into it.
yeah.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I just started with things around the house.
Mm,
And then once I'd like watched a few YouTube videos and things like that, I thought, oh, I'm going to try, try the charity shops.
yeah,
But yeah, definitely just start with things around the house and kind of go from there. Really,
yeah.
go
You
spend.
know, and don't spend any money you can't afford to spend. If you
Yeah,
you know, just don't. If you've only got a tenner to go and spend in a charity shop or at a car boot, just stick to your guns, stick to your limit.
yeah,
And yeah, just build it up before you go full time, build it up to something that's sustainable and you know is going to pay your bills before you leave your full-time job.
yeah.
You know,
I
if you're
mean,
not working full.
I know for when I want to go full time, that I'm going to have a good cash flow behind me as well.
Mm,
Like I'm going to have a good pile of savings, for the darker months or getting
yeah,
stock or if things go wrong or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Evening, Antoinette, we're just about to wrap up. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Well, thank you for coming on.
thank you.
Appreciate that. It's cold, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's cold. My toes are actually going to snap off in a minute, I think. But like I say, guys, Patches just popped in as well. There's Sophie's channel, if you Instagram, if you want to check it out.
Oh,
Patches just
actually, as
popped in.
well, just before we do sign off, tomorrow
Yeah.
night Wednesday, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, I've got reseller dens on my channel,
Oh, nice.
live.
Yep.
And the week after, on the 7th of December, on my channel at 7 o'clock, it's Kieran from Rummage Around, just
Oh,
so
cool.
you guys know.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Tomorrow is reseller Dens. I watch Dens because he's doing a few auctions at the minute, isn't he?
Yeah, he
He's
does
doing
quite.
like an auction on a Thursday.
Yeah,
Patchy sat just saying, "Hi, Rich, just a quick hi before bed." I think that's where I'm going to go under my duvet. It's blooming freezing anywhere else. Can't afford to have the heating on. Just have to start getting all my stuff in the bedroom so I can just like resell for my duvet. Do you stick to a weekly budget? Mandy's saying, good evening, Mandy. Do you stick to a weekly budget for stock or go with the flow? Basically, I just go with the flow. If I've got a spare 20 quid, I'll go and get stuff.
yeah.
But most of the time, I haven't got any money to go stock hunting anyway. And I've also got enough stuff to get rid of.
I kind of just go with the flow, like, because I get paid every Friday from work, so I'll put away what I need to go towards like my rent and bills at the end of the month, and
Yeah.
then whatever I got like spare, I'll use for getting stuff,
Mm,
um, or like my eBay money on a
yeah.
Tuesday. I get paid weekly on a Tuesday from eBay, so
Yeah.
either use that or whatever. But I mean, I was saving a lot of my eBay money to have the month off,
Yeah.
January, so.
Mm.
Now I've got that money up together, I can kind of go back to just using my eBay money for stock or whatever.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Joan saying, Mister will watch back. No worries, Joan. Um, I saw Duncan said he's going to send us some Sydney sun, so that'd be nice. I'll wait for that to turn up.
Yeah.
Uh, old Patch is up at 2:30 a.m.
Oh,
Sean's saying bye to everybody. Sean's yeah, definitely make hay while the sun shines. Buy as much stock. Sean saying, don't forget the like button. Right, thanks, guys. Thank you to Sophie. Like I say, if you're not subscribed and you're not following her Instagram, please go and do so. It's I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but it's cold here. But thank you for attending and staying with us through me waffling on. And yeah, hope to see you on the Saturday Night Live, 7:30 UK time. If you've not seen it before, it's a good laugh. Come and get involved. We have a good chuckle. And apart from that, I will try and get some videos up. I keep saying I'm going to try and get some videos up. It's just having having the content to film at the minute. Like with
Yeah.
eBay slow, what can you film if you sell 2 items on eBay? There's not a lot you can do. But yeah, thank you everybody. Appreciate your time as always. And yeah, it's bye from us and see you soon. See you later.